I did not realize how frugal my husband and I are until just recently when somebody made the comment that we are frugal people. Some of this stuff has just become so second nature to us as a couple and to me as a person that I don't even really view these as frugal things because they are things that I don't even see as us missing out on. Sometimes you think if you have to be frugal or trying to cut costs in places, that means you're giving up something. A lot of these frugal things that we do are just as good, if not better, than the mainstream things that a lot of people do. And a lot of them are really small changes. The first thing I do that saves us a ton of money, especially in the kitchen, making our own bread. And I know you think a loaf of bread costs, what, $1.50? So that's what you're saving every week. So say you want to make hamburgers. That's an extra $2 if you want to buy the cheap, crappy hamburgers. If you want to we made naan-bread pizzas a couple of weeks ago. Naan bread is $4 in the grocery store for just 4 flatbreads. I made those. The cost savings when it comes to making bread really comes into play are those more niche bread items that you don't really think about. And I know making your own bread isn't free. Obviously, you have to buy the supplies, but I buy all of my flour in bulk, and then I usually do sourdough, so I'm not having to purchase any yeast. It is really a huge savings over the course of multiple years. Some of really big changes that I made forever ago was I don't buy paper napkins. I rarely buy paper plates. Any of the disposable products you see in the kitchen, I am very stringent on using. Obviously, there's some exceptions to things like when we have a big party or I'm postpartum. About 2 years ago, I purchased these kitchen towels off of Amazon that we use as napkins. I use them as tea cloths for my sourdough. I use them to dry dishes. They're kind of my all-around kitchen use towels. And then I also purchased these blue shop towels off of Amazon that are washable, and they came in a pack of 50, extremely inexpensive, and those are used to clean everything else in our house except for the toilet, which I have a specific color rag that I specific for the toilet. I don't know if you have gone down the cleaning aisle recently, but paper towels can be pretty expensive, especially if you want to buy the kind that you're not having to use multiples just for one cleanup situation. And I also found myself when I would purchase things like Lysol wipes and paper towels, I was reaching for them so often that I was just constantly going through them without any kind of thought to the fact that these are just disposable items that are just going to go in. Every couple of months, I will take my kitchen towels and I will soak them in OxyClean and I will boil them in my big canning stock pot just to give them a freshen up. I am getting to the point where I may need to get some new ones because they are starting to look a little old, but those ones will just get cycled into use for cleaning other things, and they will last me until they literally fall apart. In that same vein, I don't buy mainstream cleaning products, and what I mean by that is that yes, I do have some mainstream brands in my house. I am so minimal when it comes to the cleaning products that I use. Of my cleaning activities, I'm using about 5 products. I use South Suds or some kind of Castile soap, borax, superwashing soda, and baking soda, and those are 2 different things. And then I use the powder OxyClean, Oxy mold and mildew for some harder areas in my bathroom. I will use hydrogen peroxide or an alcohol, and isopronol for isopronol alcohol. How do you say it? Alcohol for any kind of disinfecting type of situation. Before, I was really knowledgeable about anything homemaking, any kind of doing stuff in my house. I remember I would just get this itch to clean, and then I would go to Target and I would spend $80 on just random cleaning products from Target, not realizing that 90% of what you can clean in your home can be done with an all-purpose cleaner or just with soap and water. I don't use any kind of heavy-duty cleaner. If I need to get in on something, a lot of elbow grease, and then baking soda is usually really good for anything that you need to get some grit down. I don't purchase anything like the pink stuff, or sometimes if I'm really feeling crazy, I will buy Pine Sol to wash my wood floors with, but most of the time I just go with soapy water and drying it with a towel. Another thing that I do that I've talked a lot about on this channel is I meal plan to a T. I plan every meal that we are going to have every night of the week, even if that's just me making sure that I know we're having leftovers. I also will meal plan for every lunch that we're gonna have, and I will make sure I have things on my mind for what we're going to be eating for breakfast. This way there is no room for us to say, oh, maybe we should go eat out tonight, or maybe let's go get some DoorDash. Also a really great way to make sure you're not wasting things at home before you go out and buy more stuff. I've already made a handful of videos of me showing you my grocery hauls and things that I'm buying at the grocery store, but generally I'm able to keep our grocery budget between anywhere from $60 to $120 a week, depending on what we need for that week. And going in that same vein, there's some things that I just will not buy from the grocery store. And I know maybe this is a controversial take, but I don't buy berries for my toddler. The only time I will buy berries is when they're in season and they are really inexpensive. It is not cost effective for me to buy a little 6-ounce box of berries for my daughter that's gonna cost me $3 when I can buy 10 bananas for the same price. And I know berries are amazing for us and there's so many great benefits to them, but if we're gonna have berries in our house, I'm generally just going to purchase them in the frozen aisle and make them in smoothies, or I will purchase them when they're really cheap in season during the summer months. Going along with things that I don't buy for my toddler is I don't buy a lot of prepackaged snacks or things like pouches, and sometimes I'll find them at the discount grocer when I drive out there to pick up my flour. I will sometimes keep them on hand, or I will buy my daughter a pouch as a treat, being well behaved in the grocery store, but those are the only times that we're keeping those in rotation. They're never really something that we rely on as a normal snack. For snacks, I generally keep things like pretzels, chocolate chips. We are an ingredient only household for the most part, so pretzels, chocolate chips, peanut butter on celery are really great snacks. And the more you rotate these in with your toddlers and your kids, they just get used to this kind of stuff. This is what I grew up on. It's what my kids are growing up on, and it's generally better for you in the long run. And finally, this one is kind of dependent on how large your family is, but buying things in bulk. I really only purchase about 3 things right now in bulk that I find makes a lot of sense for us. So one of those things is flour. I bake a lot. I bake every single week with sourdough or with whatever bread product we need for that week. So I purchase 50-pound bags of flour from an Amish bulk discount store that's about an hour away from me, and my daughter found the door stopper. I purchased my flour from a bulk discount Amish store about an hour away from me. They carry all the different types of King Arthur. I purchased a 50-pound bag of the King Arthur all-purpose flour for, I want to say it's $30? For like $30, whereas I could go to the store and spend $10 on a 10-pound bag that is going to not last me as long. The other thing that I like to purchase in bulk is rice. I like to purchase basmati white rice, and just through some research I found that that is the longest lasting rice with the least amount of arsenic. I'm not an expert on it. I'm not going to get too into it, but I choose to go with basmati. Anytime we have a rice dinner, I'm just going to use that. And then the last one is if I can find them. Right now it's actually really hard to find eggs in bulk, but if I can find them, I will purchase the eggs in the large box in bulk. Hard boiled eggs are a great snack, and generally, especially with the way prices are right now, it's a pretty big saving to buy the big box of eggs at Sam's or at Walmart as opposed to even just getting them at Aldi. So those are all the things that I do in my kitchen to save a little bit of money, and honestly they're things that I don't even notice a difference on, because personally I would much rather just eat the food at home than the food that you can get at a restaurant. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.